To this special event where today we are talking about something that Wall Street doesn't want you to know about, something that they get very angry about, something they will try to talk you out of doing, which is setting up your self-directed IRA, trying to build wealth inside of a self-directed account and to grow your wealth, perhaps even tax-free if you have it structured properly, which means you can buy anything you want in there, save a few little items like comic books, but who's buying comic books inside their retirement account? But you could buy real estate, you could buy precious metals, you could buy, heck, you could even buy stocks if you wanted to inside of a self-directed account. And we are very lucky because we have a jam-packed show for you today with two special guests, and we're going to be opening it up for questions and answers today on this live experience. So any questions you have about self-direction, investing in real estate, being able to buy investments inside of a self-directed account, all of that, we'd love for you to ask them live here during our show. But we're joined by two special guests today. First, I want to introduce Haley Neely, who from the Morris Invest team, and she works very closely to help set up self-directed accounts. Of course, she's been with Sedera Wealth Team for so many years and working with Morris Invest in tandem for all of those years. I think it's I want to say, Haley, now it's been, I don't know, many years that if you, many of you know, talking to Haley on the phone, she's helped you get started with investing in real estate, setting up a self-directed account. That is Haley. Good to see you, Haley. Welcome into the show.
Thanks so much for having me on, Clayton. Happy to be here and be a part of the conversation today. It's definitely an important one.
And also in the other box there, as we adjust the box, it's like what was the show? It's like
Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. I couldn't even think of the show. Oh my God. Kids don't even know what that show is anymore. Matt Sorensen from mattsorensen.com, from directedira.com, the founder, the CEO of directedira.com, works in tandem with our team as an attorney to really help people understand and get set up with their self-directed accounts so that they can maximize their retirement. And Matt is here 2 days before a huge summit that Matt is holding in Dallas, Texas. So we're honored to have Matt here as well for this big roundtable. Matt, great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And of course, we're talking about my favorite topic, how to take control of your IRA or 401k dollars. You know, there's $38 trillion in U.S. retirement accounts. Like, there's more money here than anywhere to invest in anything. And
wow,
we're always out there trying to spread the good word about that, how your IRA or 401k is not trapped in Wall Street. I love your intro, Clayton, about that. It can invest in real estate. It can invest in Main Street businesses in your community. It can invest in precious metals and other assets you believe in. You don't just have to buy a crappy mutual fund or stock you don't believe in and go on the roller coaster. So thanks for having me on today. And you can see I get a little excited about that topic because I do this with my own retirement account, by the way. We have a company that offers this, but this is like what I do myself too.
Well, I'll just ask you, just throw it out there before we get into all the nitty gritty of this. Like, what is the state of play right now for Americans' retirement accounts? I mean, what are we looking at? Obviously, the price of everything is up about 30% right now under Bidenomics. We're seeing, obviously, inflation is going to get hotter. We see the Federal Reserve, of course, talking about maybe not 3 rate cuts this year, but maybe just 1, maybe in December. And inflation going to continue to trickle up and up and up. So the value of the U.S. dollar continues to go down. And most Americans just sort of set it and forget it. They started working in a new company. They open up a 401k plan and they wrap their brains around thinking that's the best way to build a retirement plan. So where are we in 2024 America right now with people's retirements, credit card debt, and all of that?
Well, where we're at right now is if you want to protect yourself and have a retirement you're actually looking forward to, you got to freaking get involved and you got to take control of your own retirement account, because Wall Street and Washington, for that matter, want you to just set it and forget it, right? They want you to just be in some boring mutual fund or some stock that just kind of perpetuates the system, frankly. And what our clients and people come to us for every day, and, you know, we're opening over 50 new accounts a day. And those 50 people a day are investing into stuff in their community. Like, they're buying and fixing up real estate in their community. They're providing new housing, whether it's single family or multifamily. They're investing in small businesses in their community. And that's a win for what's going on in like real America, but it's also a win because it's an opportunity for their retirement accounts. Those deals don't get funded by banks. Those properties and stuff get dilapidated. These businesses don't get the opportunity to go raise on the public markets or get government funding. And so if you have this little sliver of that 38 trillion I talked about, like your own IRA or 401k, we just want to open people's eyes to, don't just think you're stuck over here. Take control of it, grow your account to get a bigger return you could otherwise get in the stock market, but also be part of this movement of people changing Main Street America, growing small business and turning over real estate and improving their own communities.
Let's bring in Haley now from the Morris Invest side. Many of you who've bought real estate will have spoken to Haley on the phone to help set up a self-directed account. Haley, can you take me through I just want to give an example phone call from someone you speak to for the first time that doesn't even know that they can unlock the power of a self-directed account. And then, of course, working with Matt's team to make that all happen. So this is a good group here because this is a symbiotic relationship here where we sort of, I like to think of lifting all boats, right? Working with Matt's team and Haley being able to communicate in that way. So this is really about education and really empowering people to take advantage of that. But Haley, what's that phone call like when someone talks to you for the first time at Morris Investments? Like, oh, I didn't even know you could do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm much like Matt here. I get pretty passionate about the topic and the subject of just spreading the word about alternative asset classes, self-direction, and clients really empowering themselves to take back control over their retirement accounts. And it really simply starts with a phone call, right? It starts with educating yourself, learning what else is out there. So just booking a phone call. I'll take an individualized approach with each client, diving into their accounts, what's working for them, what's not working for them, and really see if and where we can add value. But it's a 3-step process. It's really simple. Everyone can self-direct and should be, in my opinion, but it's account setup first, and then we'll work on the movement of funds that they want to reallocate over into the self-directed IRA. And then that account will be funded and ready to start your investment journey.
Amazing. Matt, maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the different type of accounts here that Haley was talking about, some of the different ones that people might approach to. Because even at your summit that's on Saturday in Dallas, you're talking about expanding your IRA knowledge, uncovering your solo 401k benefits, Roth IRAs, all of it. So when someone's sitting there's like, oh my God, my mind is blowing right now. All I know is I have a 401k.
Right.
That's all they told me about. Can you go through some of the different variations in these accounts?
Yeah. So the most common would be someone that has the old employer 401k. And look, there's a reason there's a lot of money in those old 401ks, and it's a big chunk of that 38 trillion. It's because, you put your money in, your company gave you a match, and that was free money. Like, that was a good move. Now, investing it in a mutual fund or something that you don't even know the name of it and not paying attention to it, I don't love that. But a lot of money has been saved and set aside there in 401ks. So the most common person just has an old employer 401k. And if you have the old employer 401k, it's usually traditional dollars, or sometimes called pre-tax dollars. But those are traditional dollars, meaning you got a deduction when you put the money in. As you're growing the money, you don't pay taxes. You're building up the account, whether you're investing in real estate or you're investing in stocks. It's the same deal. But then when you pull money out of a traditional, you pay tax on the way out. Like, that's the downside of the tradition. You got a tax section on the way in, but you pay tax on the way out. And so if you're moving an old employer 401k, like I said, it's most likely traditional dollars, and that would go to a traditional self-directed IRA. You could have a Roth 401k. Some employers have those. Those are more newer in the last like 10 or 15 years. And so if you had a Roth 401k account, or even some Roth 401k dollars and some traditional 401k dollars, the Roth dollars would need to go into a self-directed Roth IRA. And the Roth dollars are like what we love. We actually have more Roth accounts here than any other account type because you didn't get a tax deduction when you put the money in. But the good thing about the Roth is, as you're growing it, you don't pay tax. And when you pull the money out, it comes out totally tax-free. So if I can maybe save $100,000 in a Roth account and grow it to $1 million, when that whole $1 million comes out, I pay zero tax. If I contribute $100,000 in a traditional and I grow it to $1 million, as I pull the money out over time, I pay tax on that $1 million coming out at retirement. So we love Roth accounts in particular because they're tax-free. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but the Biden administration has a proposal to kill Roth conversions, people wanting to convert to Roth accounts. So one of the messages we've been preaching, we've had a lot of clients convert to Roth recently who love the Roth account that might be sitting in traditional because they might be thinking, man, I believe that taxes are going to be higher in retirement than they are now. I mean, maybe tax rates go down, who knows, but a lot of people are banking on them being higher, unfortunately. And I'd rather be in that tax-free structure of the Roth account. So I'm going to convert now and get out of my traditional over to Roth. So a couple points there. Just let me summarize. If you have an old employer 401k, it can be traditional. There's also the Roth accounts out there. There's a little tax differentiation on them. The Roth, in my opinion, wins out because it comes out tax-free. And if you have a traditional, you can convert it to Roth. So those are different account options there. And, there's solo 401ks too. And you mentioned that at the front end of this. And the solo 401ks are great for someone that's self-employed. Like a lot of self-employed people, or even someone that has a side hustle in America, there's millions of those out there right now. You can do your own 401k plan that's just for you. And that's what the solo K was meant for. Congress was like, all right, they don't have this big employer 401k, but we don't want them just to be able to put $7,000 a year in an IRA, which is the annual IRA contribution. Let's let these people who are self-employed put like $69,000 a year in their 401k, which is what the solo K is. So that's the solo K. If you're self-employed with no other employees, you can put up to $69,000 a year. It's a way to supercharge your retirement, because we run into a lot of small business owners and people who are self-employed that they haven't put anything away, and they got a lot of catching up to do. So the solo K can be a great option for them.
Someone in the chat just asked, are we going to talk about cash flowing real estate? Peter says, of course, Peter is a cynical person. So Peter says, I'm guessing there will be nothing about cash flow real estate. Well, if you know that the title that we talked about in today's show is about things that, Wall Street is terrified about. Wall Street never will talk about cash flowing real estate, in addition to never talking about self-directed retirement accounts, because when you're removing it from their claws because they don't make money off of it, right? You control it. Matt, I want to bring in Haley on the cash flowing real estate piece in a second, but I mean, the setup fees for owning your own retirement account, that's why Wall Street doesn't want you to know about it. I'm telling you this for a reason. I mean, I got on the phone with Fidelity, and I think I might have told you this story, Matt, but I was on the phone with Fidelity and I asked them, do you have a way, can I invest in real estate inside of my 401k? Can I use my 401k as a way to invest in real estate? Because, I wanted to take control of my 401k. And they said, sure. I said, I want to move it out of here to self-directed account. And they said, well, you can self-direct, you can buy real estate inside your 401k. And I said, really? I didn't know that. This is new to me. I'm just playing. I was being passive aggressive,
Right.
I said, I think you're really okay. So, well, there's a house I identified I wanted to invest in. It's a single family home. It's going to cash flow X amount, 18% internal rate of return. I'd like to buy this house. I'd like to use my 401k plan to do it. Can I do it? And he said, well, no, you can't do that. But we have REITs. If you want to invest in some stocks that have real estate, you can do that. I said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. So you cannot do it inside of a Wall Street vehicle, and they don't want you to know about this. This is why there's no advertising on television about it, and they keep it totally quiet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't even hear about this. I was a lawyer, worked in corporate America in a large corporate legal department, took the bar exam, went through I'd never even heard of this. It took a real estate client of mine asking, can he buy real estate in his IRA back in 2007 for me to even know about this. And since then, I went on this long journey of like, oh my gosh, there's this little industry of people that do this. And I've just been out spreading the good word since. But yes, absolutely. So Peter's question, yes, you can buy cash flow real estate. Peter, that's what I do with my own retirement account. When I said we open 50 accounts a day here at Directed IRA, I'll bet 20 to 25 of those are buying like single family rentals, duplexes, or some other like form of cash flowing real estate. Some of them might be private money lending to other real estate investors, like to people flipping houses, and they're getting 12% interest in 2 points or 10% in 1 point. They're getting a great rate of return. And so this is exactly what we're talking about. I know we've had a little setup, but that's what we're talking about. And that's what like Haley and SCRI Wealth does too, is well, you got to find good properties. You got to find good deals. You got to find that real estate opportunity. Our job is to help you get the qualified retirement account, because like Clayton said, we know Fidelity's not going to do it. Fidelity just wants you to buy a Wall Street product to get real estate exposure. But we're like, hey, we're a custodian too, just like Fidelity. We're just not a broker dealer that wants to sell you financial products. We're open architecture. Buy whatever you want. You can buy stocks, bonds, or mutual funds here if you want. We don't really attract those clients, but go buy real estate, go invest in a small business, in a startup, in a private fund. That's what our clients are doing. And so we just provide the account where you can use those IRA or 401k dollars that you've typically thought is for Wall Street. But then when you have that account with us, I mean, that's kind of Haley's piece is all right, in STRI Wealth, well, we've got deals. We have cash flowing real estate. And that's how that connection works and why it's a great relationship.
Absolutely. So Haley, take that one. So can you walk through that process with the homes that we're doing here that we work with on Matt's side to be able to buy inside of your retirement account, your self-directed account that is going to cash flow, and if you structure it a certain way, can grow tax-free. Can you talk about the properties? Can you talk about where they are? Can you talk about the process and just kind of dive into that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah. So at Sedir Wealth, we've been in the industry for over 23 years now, over 45 different cities. So of course, we're going to move when it makes sense to do so to make sure that we are ensuring we're in the top growth markets throughout the nation. We have some great upcoming inventory opportunities in markets like Texas, who, landlord-friendly states. And that's what we're targeting as a company. But we really, all the way from the start to the finish, we're going to walk the client through that process with acquiring cash flowing real estate. We're focused on properties that are cash flow positive, but we're looking at all three streams as well. So that's one of the beauty pieces of real estate, and especially owning it inside of the self-directed IRA, is that you're taking your account essentially from a one stream generator to three streams. So we're talking about cash flow, we're talking about principal reduction, and then also appreciation as the market continues to grow and prosper.
So on your screen here, these are some of the properties that Morris Invest and the Sedir Wealth team provide for our clients. And what are we looking at here? I mean, these are, I think on the top here, these are some duplexes here, and these are new. These are all new construction properties. And so, of course, people don't realize that you can actually do this and actually buy an investment vehicle, like an investment property like this that you're seeing. These are all actual photos from some of the properties, right?
Correct. Yeah, those are properties that we have sold. So those are all properties that we've sold in the Texas market. That's a duplex there that you're seeing. And it is in one of our top growth markets in the nation. And like I mentioned, the beauty of the real estate inside the self-directed IRA is that we're targeting brand new construction. So it is helping you long-term for like risk mitigation factors. We're looking at lower vacancy, lower maintenance when we're targeting those brand new properties as well. So if you're looking to be passive, which is the approach inside the self-directed IRA, this is going to be the perfect fit for that retirement account.
Wonderful. I do want to open it up for some questions specifically around this process. Matt, can you give us a little preview, if you will, of your big Sedir Summit that's going to happen in Dallas, Texas? It's a multi-day event, correct? And you're going to be, to be able to learn about master your taxes and asset protection, but all of it. What can people expect if they're coming to the big summit this week?
Yeah, so it's a full day on Saturday. We have another networking event the Friday before, so you can come meet other people that are self-directed investors. There'll be hundreds of people there, and it's people doing what we're talking about. I mean, the majority of the attendees are people with self-directed IRAs or 401ks, learning how to do it better. There's some new people there that are kind of trying to figure out what to do or what relationships to make. But what we do at the summit is we teach the rules on how to do it. What I always like to tell people is learning how to self-direct your IRA to buy cash flowing real estate or other alternative assets. It's not rocket science. Like Wall Street wants you to think it's so complicated. It's rocket science. Your financial advisor wants you to think that too, right? They're all disinterested. They lose money when you go do this. So they always try to talk you out of it. So we want to teach you what you need to know. But I like to say it's more like learning a board game than it is rocket science. You've just never done it before, so you just need to learn the rules and how it works. And that's what we go over in the summit. And so we teach you the rules, how to structure things. What are some of our successful clients doing? I'll have some of my clients that have 10 million plus Roth IRA accounts, for example, teaching what they've done. How have they built it? One of them that'll be there on one of the panels, he's just a real estate guy. He's a real estate investor. He learned how to use his Roth IRA to do it, which is totally tax-free. And he's built a 10 million plus Roth IRA that, by the way, all
Wow.
that value he's built is coming out tax-free in his Roth IRA. And this client's in his 60s now, so he can take it out whenever he wants. He's got like this freaking tax-free ATM. So
Can you talk
over
a
all
little,
those strategies?
Can you talk a little bit about his strategy? How did he pull that off exactly? Maybe not go through, not through every little nook and cranny of it, but I'm just, by the way, Melinda says, love working with Matt Sorensen. So
Thanks, Melinda. We love working with you.
So can you talk a little bit about how he constructed that in order to build this multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio?
Yeah. And so he's talked about this at my summits. He's on our board at Direct. He's a great guy. His name's John. And what he's done is he had, he probably had about $500,000 in traditional 401ks. And he was a really successful real estate investor. He was good at investing in real estate. He was good at finding deals and making money on them. And when he realized he could self-direct his IRA, he wanted to go from traditional to Roth. So he peeled off a couple $100,000 of his traditional account and converted it to Roth. So now when he took $200,000 of traditional IRA dollars and converted it to Roth, he had to pay tax on that $200,000. So the IRS will let you move traditional dollars. But remember, when you grow traditional dollars, you take them out at retirement. You pay taxes, you're pulling it out. When you grow Roth dollars, they grow and you come out tax-free in retirement. So the better thing to have at the end is Roth dollars. But to go from traditional to Roth, you have to do what's called a conversion and take that value at the time you convert into income. So he took $200K, the amount he chose approximately, and converted it over to Roth. Now he had to pay taxes. He took $200,000 into income. It hurt him in that year because he had to send more money to the IRS. But now he had enough money to go and fund deals. He needed a little bit of money to go do the deals that he wanted to do. And he's done stuff from options on real estate to buying cash flow stuff. He's bought Rite Aids, and he goes over these examples where he was buying Rite Aids and getting rights on Rite Aids because Rite Aid and Walgreens merged at the time. And they had locations across the street from each other and they were shutting one of the two down. And anyways, he found like great little opportunities basically to make money. And so, and over a 10, 15 year career of investing this, he's got it to a 10 million plus account. Like my largest client, by the way, has a 400 million Roth IRA.
Wow.
Like he's a real estate developer. He's been doing it for a long time. And I can't get into his details, but this one client I talk about that he'll be at the summit. His name's John. He's on the agenda and he explains how he's done this and built his account. And he likes to teach people. He likes people to know you can do it too. And here's what I do. He's like, I'm just a regular dude. I just loved real estate and I use this tax-free vehicle to go do it and build my wealth.
And Matt, you have to be wealthy in order to start doing all of this, right? You have to be a millionaire in order to start investing and start to build this, right? You can't just start like I did and like you did and like Haley did and others, right? You have to be wealthy, right?
Yeah. That's the false thinking that unfortunately too many people get into, because think of all my clients that have large accounts. I mean, I have a lot of clients in the 10 million plus accounts. Guys, they all started at zero.
Right.
And if you think of people with these retirement accounts and these, particularly these Roth IRAs, this is not generational wealth. They weren't just like born into it and it got passed down to them. They started this account. They started at zero too. Like everyone starts at zero here. And so if you can and it takes a while. I think the first few years is the most like, well, I'm at zero, Matt, or I only have 50K, or I only have this. Well, now think of how you can improve that over 10 years. I love the rule of 72, which is this rule that tells you if you take the rate of return you can get, how long does it take for your money to double? So for example, if you take 72 and you divide it by 10, let's say you can get a 10% annual rate of return. I'm just doing it so you can do the math. 72 divided by 10 is 7.2, right? Every 7.2 years, your account will double. So if you have a 200,000 account, you're getting a 10% rate of return in 7.2 years, you'll have a $400,000 account. And then you keep that invested for another 7.2 years at 10%, you have an $800,000 account. And your money is working for you, but you've got to get started. Don't get hung up on, well, I'm at zero. Everyone started at zero. And so the people that have the large accounts have just been focused in getting the money in and investing it strategically. They're not buying mutual funds. Like these clients that have 10 million plus accounts, they're not buying mutual funds to do this. They're
Right.
investing in the stuff they know. They're finding opportunities. And the most common place we've seen is real estate.
So Haley, how do you pair up when someone books a call with the team and they go to the website? I'll put it up here on the screen if anyone's interested. By the way, let me just put this up here on the screen. So if anyone wants to book a call and speak to Haley, you can, and learn about real estate inside of and setting up a self-directed account and being able to work with Matt's team on the account piece of this as well. But they can book a call. So how do you find the right property for a person? Like, let's say I come to you and you talk about a unique situation, right? It's a customized approach for that individual. What's the process you take someone through to kind of identify, well, am I buying a duplex? How do I get to that $400 million portfolio that Matt was just talking about? Do I buy single families? How do I do that? And how do can I use a piece of my retirement account, my self-directed account? I've also got some cash on hand. Maybe I have some money in the mattress. Like, how do you put all those pieces together?
Yeah, so the very first thing that we're going to do when a client books a phone call is to have a deep dive conversation about their goals, first and foremost. What are they looking to accomplish? And then I really like to focus in on their pain points. So, do they have retirement accounts currently that are underperforming or haven't, performed at the level of their expectations over the last few years? So just really finding those pain points, those opportunities, and seeing if what we add is going to bring value, to that client. There's a multitude of ways you can get into real estate, self-directed just being one of those. I think more and more what I'm hearing on the calls, it's individuals looking for more control over their returns, the investment classes, looking for more tangible assets. Those are words, when I hear those, they're kind of key words that make me think, okay, maybe self-direction can add some value. And then on the property side, then it is just about making sure we're targeting properties that can be qualified for non-recourse financing if that individual is looking to leverage, or maybe they don't have quite enough to come in and do a full cash purchase on a property. So, you talked a little bit about starting from zero. There are opportunities that we can really assist and help clients get in, utilizing some non-recourse financing and kind of get the ball rolling with some financing options on our side as well.
Wonderful. So they can pair the financing. I think that's what a lot of people are fearing. It's like, oh, do I have to buy this duplex that you're seeing on the screen here with just fully cash? Can I use pieces of what I've got? I've got some cash on hand, but I'd also maybe like to use some financing from a bank, and you can do that, right?
That's correct. Yes. And one of the great things about our company being full service, we're going to go ahead and do all that work up front. So we're going to target properties where we have ease of obtaining non-recourse financing, and we're continually partnering with banks and institutions that offer non-recourse financing to cater to our self-directed clients so that we can continue to add value and frankly just to provide more options for our clients.
Wonderful. Let's take some questions here. Matt, why don't you take this one here? This one is Guy Ralston says, does converting the traditional IRA into a Roth require any penalties or taxable events upon time of conversion?
Yes, you will pay tax at the time of conversion. There's no penalty per se, but there is a tax. If you think about it, there's a benefit too. So no one loves paying taxes, right? I'm a tax lawyer. I want you to pay as little taxes as you have to. But if you take that example I gave earlier of John, the client that speaks at my self-directed IRA Summit, when he converted 200,000 from traditional to Roth, he had to take 200,000 into income on his 1040 on his tax return. Let's say he's in a 30% federal tax bracket and a 5% state. That's going to cost him 35% of 200 grand. That costs him $70,000 in taxes. Now, that sucks. Trust me, I don't love that. But in the long run, if that 200K can turn into 10 million, it is a no-brainer.
Right.
Now that 10 million is coming out tax-free. So if you think of the growth, you're going to kind of pay the tax on the seed, so to speak. that seed can grow into the big harvest, and then you get to take the whole harvest and you pay no tax coming out.
Here's a crypto question. Diamond Lace Wig says, please speak about crypto. Thanks. So inside of these accounts, I mean, I own some crypto, not a lot. I mean, it's, some Bitcoin and some Ethereum, and I don't really add anything more to it. It just sort of sits in my Coinbase account now. But you can buy this inside of a you can buy it inside of a self-directed account as well, can't you? You can put that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have lots of clients doing that here too at Directed IRA, buying crypto. Even myself, I mean, it's funny, this is what I did, so I had my retirement account. I went and bought my first single family rental property, my first cash flowing piece of real estate in my retirement account. It was 85 grand. This was in Indianapolis at the time. This is in 27. When did I buy it? 2015 maybe or so. And anyway, so I put 40,000 down, and the bank gave me a loan for 45K, non-recourse loan, similar to what Haley was mentioning earlier. So I didn't have the full 85K. Like, I started at 0 too, right? So, but I had 40. And so I got a bank to lend me the other 45, and I bought a property for $85,000. Then I started getting cash flow on the property. And I had all these clients at the time asking me, can you buy crypto? And this is in 2017. By the way, Bitcoin in 2017 was $2,500.
Right.
There's a YouTube video of me talking about this, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but I've had so many clients ask me about it because we have smart clients that like to be in these real assets and stuff like that. Anyway, so I went and bought some in 2017 using my retirement account. But since then, we've helped lots of clients do it. You can absolutely use your IRA or 401k to buy crypto if you want, or get a little bit of exposure to it. So definitely an asset available. Small businesses, like I talked about, private companies, startups, private funds. These are all things that your IRA can own.
Here's ML says, it sounds like this is not applicable to a non-401k or IRA retirement plan. Is that correct? I'm not sure what question, but maybe investing in real estate?
Yeah, what I would say is, I think a lot of people, we're talking about the stuff everybody realizes you can buy personally, right? Well, I can buy cash flowing real estate. I know I could buy that. Well, I could buy crypto. I know I could buy it. Yeah, but not a lot of people know you can actually do this in your retirement account, and that $38 trillion sitting in IRAs and 401ks can also buy real estate. You don't have to leave that account stuck in Wall Street unless you want to. So I think that what's applicable here is for the IRA or 401k, unlocking it to have all investment options available, whether it's cash flowing real estate, crypto, or whatever the things you're into that you like. Do you feel is going to grow the account so you have a bigger retirement account when you hit retirement?
Haley, when someone calls you and says, we're interested in investing in real estate, but most all of my wealth is tied up in these, a Wall Street 401k plan, and I'm leaving my job, or it's locked in there. How do you teach them to sort of unlock that?
Yeah, so normally I walk them through the full steps. So I'm kind of a hand holder, and I really believe in kind of teaching them and guiding them through the process. And it's just a simple conversation. A lot of times I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into if they've left the company. That normally lets me know that if they're no longer employed with that company, those funds are unlocked. It just is simply liquidating those funds, and they can be moved over into the self-directed account. And I'm going to walk them through the account setup process, which we can get an account established over at Directed IRA in about 48 hours, max, and they'll be issued a new account number. And then we would conduct a transfer or a rollover depending on the account type that they're looking to move the funds over from. All of which I'll still help guide them through. I'll help them execute the paperwork just to ensure that it is seamless and a smooth process through that journey.
Yeah, just so you understand the process, everyone who's watching, right there on the screen is the website. If you just go to morrisinvest.com, click on the book a call button, and you're off to the races. A little calendar will pop up. You can speak with Haley and the team and talk about all of these options. She'll be able to guide you and then she'll work with Matt's team to get the self-directed account set up. And like I said, in less than 48 hours, you can have this account set up. Matt, why are you guys able to do it so fast?
Well, we're just good. I don't know. So we hire great people, and so we move quickly. And sometimes people do have deadlines on deals. They've got they've got to close in 30 days. And so we want to get the account open quickly, or sometimes even faster. And so, so we want to get the account open quickly and get it funded, and then get the client to the next step to go invest it. And I mean, our team is compensated. I'll just be honest, our team is compensated to get your account open and funded. Like, that's their goal. And some of our competitors are just so bad at this. Oh my gosh, they're so bad at this. I mean,
and I can attest to this. Oh my God. I can attest to the pain of some of your competitors out there. So yes, I have firsthand knowledge of that.
Their failures have been our opportunity, because I was the number one lawyer in the space on this. I wrote the number one book in the industry on this. All of my competitors use it to train their staff. It's used by the National Association in my space. It's used by government regulators on self-directed IRAs. Like, I wrote the number one book. I really am the expert in this little area. Outside of this, I'm average, but in this, I'm pretty good. And so, but I would get emails every other hour from someone. Hey, Matt, I read your book, or I saw you here. What IRA company should I use? And I went through all of them and realized none of them were good. And that's why we started our company. So I'm like, I have the ability to just help these clients. Let me just start my own.
Don't you love America? It's like, wait a second, all of these companies suck. I'm going to start my own, and I'm going to make it the best. That's fantastic. I love that story. That's America for you. Let's take some more questions here. And Peter brings up a good question here about being old, and being, so Peter says, I don't know why I'd want to use a retirement account. I'm about to retire. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you're nearing retirement age. You're older. Who cares, right? Because I love this response here. Bibian Duvel says, for someone under 59, we'll get to this in a second here, but someone responded to this and said, Peter, so John responded, said, Peter, I did not start investing until I retired. Better return on investment. Can you address that, guys?
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, here's a good story. I had this client, I remember, this is probably 10 or 15 years ago. And she was here in Phoenix, where I'm at. And she wanted to use her retirement account to buy a rental property. And the reason she did it is she had, maybe 250 grand total saved in a retirement account. She was in her mid 60s. She was barely starting to take some money from Social Security. And she was realizing that for her to not have to work and live off Social Security, she needed to do better than the mutual fund she had. And what she was doing was she was subsidizing her expenses over the year by selling a little bit of the mutual fund. And she saw her account going down, and she's like, this is not sustainable. So what she did was she found a cash flowing piece of real estate here in Phoenix. This was 15 years ago, and she sold the mutual funds, moved to a self-directed IRA, bought the cash flowing real estate. Now she had a property that had rent coming into it every month. She was over 59 and a half, so she could pull this out of her IRA whenever she wanted to live on it to supplement her Social Security. So she would take the rent checks out, and she would just take the cash flow to live on herself in retirement. And that property was going up in value. She wasn't depleting it like the mutual fund, because it was a cash flowing asset. And so that's why someone in retirement, this can be a great option, is because of the cash flow. And I love that other person's response is, think of the rate of return. If you think you can get a better return on this, and that cash flow can help in retirement, plus the asset can go up in value, it can be a great opportunity.
That's amazing. I love that story. Here's a great, thank you. Scott Harwick says, I bought my first property through Morris Invest with my Sedera and the Sedera team in Lubbock, coming up on 2 years. Such a flawless process, awesome experience. They are the real deal. Thank you, Scott. Can you address that, Haley? The idea that, how many older clients do you have that you're on the phone with them, you find they're in that sort of right at retirement age that Matt was just talking about?
Yeah, I think Matt really did that justice, in understanding that I talk to clients every day in that same ballpark, right? They're understanding that they're nearing retirement. They don't have enough. It's not sustainable. And one of my favorite conversations to have is really to help paint a picture of what their alternative reality could be if they're willing to make those changes. And the beauty of real estate, in my opinion, is just that it is a tangible asset to be held with inside the retirement account. And the goal would be that we help you obtain more than one, multiple properties, whatever your financial freedom number is. We're going to help you long-term build and grow. But it starts with starting with one, right? And it can be target paying those properties off so that when you're in retirement and you're ready to start taking those distributions, it becomes like an ever filling bucket, right? Each month when you're ready to pull out what you need to supplement your Social Security or other forms of income you have in retirement, so too is the tenant paying the rent, and you're never actually touching the value of the asset. So that's all inheritable then at that point, or the value of the asset continues to grow, and that can be liquidated at any point in which you choose to, take a lump sum or a larger distribution from the account.
Fantastic. Melinda writes, our single-family returns on our Sedera self-directed Roth money are averaging 30% cash-on-cash income, plus the tenants are paying the mortgage reduction, and we get the appreciation on the properties. That's what you were just talking about, Matt. You're getting the benefit of the appreciation, and we've seen skyrocketing appreciation. We have an affordable housing crisis in the United States. We need over 3, 4, 5 million units to be built, so we don't have enough properties. So these properties continue to appreciate at the same time.
Yeah. And, it's interesting, as much as we, I don't love Wall Street. I'm more the Main Street guy, but as much as we talk negatively about them, where are they putting their money? Right? They're going and buying out, single family rentals. They're buying multifamily housing, and then they're putting it in products and packages where they make a ton of money, because they know even after doing that, they can still make their gobs of money and still push out a return to investors. I mean, I'm like, just take out the middleman here at Wall Street. You don't need them. Go directly there and find the deals and opportunities yourself. And like Melinda here, where you can get a 30% cash on cash return that's phenomenal. And if you're leveraging too, and her example was a great one, because if you're leveraging the purchasing power of your retirement account, you're getting more assets than you could otherwise get. And yes, you'll have a mortgage, but the tenant's going to help you pay that down over time while the asset appreciates, and you get the entire benefit of that too. And so, I mean, to many people, they already love real estate. And like our law firm was like a real estate law firm when I started here many years ago, and my partner and I have since grown it significantly since. But figuring out how these retirement accounts that people who love and believe in real estate can be invested has been it's probably the most significant thing that I've fallen into in my entire career as a lawyer, helping clients around the country, business owners, real estate investors, like these two little pieces getting connected. What I love and believe in real estate and the value and growth that can drive, and using money in my retirement account, which is where I've saved and I have investable cash and where I can actually make a dent and really try and grow and build my wealth. Like connecting those two things has been like the most powerful thing we've seen.
It is amazing. It really was the light bulb moment for me as well. So grateful to hear you say the same thing, and to be able to, I'm grateful for you and being able to educate so many people about this. And I would encourage all of our viewers right now to read your book as well. Go to your website as well, mattsorensen.com, and check out the resources there. If you're just like wanting to educate yourself, you're just getting started in that process. Plus, it's great to know. Lindsay H says, opened an account with Matt's team last year, and it saved us thousands on our taxes. Great experience so far. That's high praise. Lindsay also says, I'd like to use my money in my self-directed account to invest in real estate short notes through Connect Invest until I have enough for a down payment. And any advice on using funds for short notes? Just so our audience here understands, the hundreds of you watching right now, what Connect Invest is. We at Morris Invest partnered up with Connect Invest a few years ago because we noticed, well, there's some clients that they don't have. When we get on the phone with them, they're like, we have a few $1,000s. We don't have enough for a down payment on a duplex or a single family just yet. We're just getting started. So how can we help those people? So we partner with Connect Invest to build out the ability to invest in a fund, right? Haley, do you want to explain that real quick before Matt maybe answers Lindsay's question here on what? And if you go to our website, if you go to morrisinvest.com/connect, you can, I think, invest for as little as like $500, I think. So it's a great way if you're just starting out. Maybe you're even like a teenager, you have some money saved up from, all of those birthday parties over the years, and you want to start investing in real estate. This is a great way to maybe even get started in that. But can you explain what it is?
Yes. So we partnered with Connect Invest, just like you'd mentioned. It's really in an effort to figure out how can we help more people right? How can we get them started earlier in the journey so that they can build wealth in a way that they then have enough to come in and get much higher returns, through the self-directed accounts, and particularly then investing into our real estate developments. And with Connect Invest, you can start as low as $500. So it's great for those newbies out there. It's never too early to get started. But you're looking at returns anywhere from like the 6 to 9%, determining depending on the term that you select. So whether you're selecting a six month or a 24-month term with their team. And I've had some great success. I have some success stories from clients who came in initial conversations. They didn't have quite enough to come in and put a down payment on that piece of property that they wanted. They wanted that tangible asset, and they were able to use Connect Invest as a platform. About 6 months later, they did acquire enough funds in there for financing, and we were able to help them purchase a property. So I'm not sure if Carla's on today, but that is one of our clients that has been truly successful utilizing that approach.
Wonderful. Matt, can you answer that question? I'd like to use my money in self-directed to invest in real estate and short notes through Connect Invest until I have enough for a down payment. Any advice for using funds for short notes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely an asset your IRA or 401k could own as well. So whether you're owning real estate or you're investing in a fund that has real estate itself or that has notes, you could be lending notes directly from your IRA or 401k. I actually do that a little bit myself, where I'm just lending on short-term 6-month terms, frankly, to other people flipping houses that need money for the acquisition and rehab costs, and they're willing to pay a good percentage rate of return for me. And it's a nice way when you want to be somewhat more passive, or you have money kind of like in this example. I think in this example here, it's just from a strategic standpoint. It's, I need to get more money set aside. I need another year's contributions. I need a little more investment growth until I can go do my own deal. Or we see a lot of people who are between deals too, where it's like, well, I bought the property and it's cash flowing, and now I've got 15 grand. It's not enough to go do another deal in and of itself, but I want to get that money working, and I don't just want to throw it back in the stock market. So how else can I use that? And this could be a good option there. Just doing some lending or investing in the funds like that do lending. So that's very common too, that we see that, to keep money working and keep it growing and building until you're doing your own deal on your own, whether it's your own property or a more significant, larger deal.
I'll just throw these out here. You guys can jump in and pick who wants to answer it. John says, with higher interest rates today compared to 3 years ago, would it be better to roll over 401k funds to pay off non-recourse variable rate mortgages when due, or refinance?
Yeah, I can jump in and take that one. I think right now we're hearing a lot of people having that misconception that with the higher interest rates, there's, the returns just aren't there. And that's simply not true. We're still cash flowing on our properties. And as far as like paying down debt, I always say that's a case by case scenario, just speaking with that client and really truly determining what are their goals, what are their timelines. So it's hard to give a definitive answer on that without speaking with the client and really determining what they're trying to accomplish there. We believe in the power of leverage. It just simply gives you more purchasing power. And so I would say if that comes at the cost of being able to obtain or continue to grow your portfolio, there is a difference between good and bad debt, right? So we always want to keep that in mind when we're speaking with clients and kind of determining what direction is best suited for them. So hopefully that answers the question there.
Yeah, and John, if you have any further questions, book a call with Haley, book a call with our team. Just go to morrisinvest.com, click on the book a call button, and she can help you, work you through that, especially if you're interested in, investing in real estate in that. Mike Plass, I hope I'm saying your name right. Mike says, Haley is great to work with. Been working with her the last 2 weeks to get a rollover done. What is a rollover for our audience that doesn't know what that looks like?
Yeah, so a rollover, simply put, it's once we have your self-directed account set up, if you are moving funds from an old employer account, so maybe you used to work in the education industry like Mike, and now they are no longer employed there, they've taken other employment, they want to have access to that account you can conduct what's called a rollover by rolling over your funds into your newly established self-directed retirement account. So pretty painless process. You can complete that by calling your financial institution and requesting a rollover be conducted. And I'm here to help if you need assistance in that process as well.
When the money is Ms. Ricketts asks, when the money is transferred into the self-directed account, are we able to begin using the money immediately to invest? I mean, that's been my experience. Is that?
Yeah. The money usually will come by wire. Sometimes if it comes by check, and this would be the old employer 401ks. Haley was talking about where you're doing a rollover. Some of those institutions will actually send a check. And so that needs to clear, of course. So you could have a little bit of a few business days holding that. But otherwise, you're ready to go once the funds are here. So one thing we do see people get a little behind is they find the property first and they're already negotiating it and getting it under contract. And they haven't even opened their self-directed IRA, nor have they transferred or roll over their money from Fidelity or Vanguard or wherever it's currently at. And so you got to get the account going first, get the rollover and transfer going, and then get the deal going. You can certainly be looking, and if you're working with, let's say Haley, you might know your options and where you might be going, the market you're going, the property type, kind of the purchase price, what to roll over, and you can still be working through that. But you just want to get the process in the right order. Open the account, get the rollover transfer going. At the same time, you can be getting the property going. But once the funds hit, wires will clear the same day. But sometimes there could be holds on checks. That'd be the only thing where sometimes we do have clients that call us and are like, can you release the funds? And we're like, well, the bank that rolled this money over still hasn't released it yet. So to us, that could be the only hang up I've seen.
Let's see, Merritt says, we are in the process of rolling over funds from an old 401k at Fidelity to directed IRA right now. Looking forward to being able to invest in alternative assets. That's great. So Merritt's working with your team. Alternative assets are the way to go. I think Joe has a question here. Joe maybe says, oops, false advertising. When Guy, I think Guy is probably referring to Matt. Hey, Guy, refers to Roth distributions. He needs to be specific regarding to Roth tax fee requirements if it's not false advertising and misleading. Can you explain what he's talking about there, the Roth distributions and taxes?
It's a good question. I don't know where you're going with this, Joe. It's a little false advertising here on your question because let me say there's a couple caveats here. And by the way, Joe, I do have a whole full day event you could come to. Love to see you there, where we go into this in more detail. I can't hit every point here on this. I wrote a freaking book on this that's 270 pages, so there's a lot of detail there. But fair enough. Let me answer that. There's a 5-year rule. I don't know if this is what he's getting at, that when you do a Roth conversion, so like when I talked about the client example of John a while ago, when you convert that 200 grand that I gave in that example, there's a 5-year window where you have to hold that and continue to invest. I mean, you don't have to continue to invest it, but there's a 5-year window before you can start pulling the earnings out tax-free. So after 5 years though, you're good. So let's say you're 50 when you do that. At age 55, you're good. Well, you can't frankly take the money anyways. You got to wait till you're 59 and a half. But those would be the requirements of when you can start pulling money tax-free out of the Roth. It's when two things have hit. If you're doing a Roth conversion, it's 5 years from when you converted, and then you have to be age 59 and a half. For those of you just doing a regular Roth IRA where you're putting your regular Roth contributions in, or maybe you had a Roth 401k at an employer, there's a 5-year rule that says you must just have the Roth IRA or a Roth IRA in existence for 5 years. And then when you hit 59 and a half, you can take the money tax-free. So there's these two different 5-year rules on contributory Roth IRAs where you're contributing. You must have at least had that for 5 years. And then when you do a Roth conversion, you just have to have had that conversion for 5 years before you can start taking tax-free distributions. So yes, there's a little caveat there, but most of our clients, when we're talking about retirement accounts, we're talking about building long-term wealth. I'm not talking about money tomorrow. The client example I gave of the lady who sold the mutual funds and bought the rental property, this was her traditional retirement account. Even if it was a Roth, it wouldn't matter. She'd had it for a long time. And so, but if you're kind of like looking at doing it immediately right now and pulling on the money within 5 years, and you haven't started a Roth IRA before, or you're converting to Roth and you're wanting to get the money out before 5 years, it could be an issue. I just rarely come up to that where it happens, but fair enough, Joe. Good point. And sorry if I got on the weeds on that a little bit.
No, it's good.
Did.
Well, no, I mean, someone can hear what they want to hear, and then your point. You've written a couple 100-page book on it, and there's going to be specific scenarios for certain people that we can't cover in an hour broadcast here, trying to answer everyone's questions. So, yeah, and if you're, and some people get so headstrong that they can't hear certain things, so they put on blinders. But if you're open and you're an honest person and you want to have a conversation, just talk with the team at Directed IRA, and Matt's a lawyer. Like he's written the book on this. So if you think you're smarter than Matt, the answer is you're not. All right, let's
at least on this
maybe subject. Maybe on something else. Yeah, maybe you're an amazing fisherman, and Matt maybe is not as good as you at that. Robert here says, should I pay off old mortgage first, then go with Connect Invest to make more money to purchase another property first? Haley, do you want to take that? Should I pay off old mortgage first? And I say, we don't give you financial advice. It's up to you to do however you want to do your own planning here. But if someone called you and had that question, how would you respond to that?
Yes. So first and foremost, I would ask a lot of questions, right? I would want to know, like, what is the mortgage rate on that property? What would refinancing look like, or what would that mean from a cash flow perspective that you're going to be allocating towards paying that property off? Maybe you have enough, if you're going to pay that property off, just to invest in another property. Most definitely the answer is to go ahead and invest with Connect Invest, what additional funds that you have, depending on how much that is. Of course, we can run some numbers to see which way pans out best from a numbers perspective for you. But typically the answer always is going to be to get that money invested if it's just sitting there liquid, or it's not tied up in your property.
Great. Okay. And we'll just kind of get out of here with one more question. Let me see. Let's see. This is a question on, I don't know, how to track crypto decentralized wallets for self-directed accounts. Sort of a crypto question. Matt, you want to take that one? And I have another little question here, but maybe you could answer that question.
Yes. So a couple options when you're doing crypto with an IRA. One, we have a relationship with Gemini where it's pretty straightforward. You have a crypto IRA with us and you can buy crypto through Gemini. You get a trading account and wallet with Gemini, and you have all the different crypto you can buy there. For people doing decentralized wallets, you're kind of in a pioneering space. I hate to say it that way, but crypto is somewhat new in terms of regulatory and tax code in the US. And when you're decentralized, you're off exchange, you're going to have good records of what's happened. And the records that really matter is, well, what money came in to buy what crypto? Like, you want to be able to show, okay, maybe you're using what's called an IRA LLC or something like that, where you have a wallet that the LLC has acquired, and you're storing crypto and buying and selling crypto in that way off an exchange. You're not storing on an exchange, let's say. You've got to kind of keep the records there. Now, there are some tax softwares that do that. I don't have them off the top of my head. In fact, Merritt's one of a CPA that I know really well. She might have some good recommendations there that I know she was on here earlier. But there are some resources there on softwares you can use to track this. But in general, let's say you were audited. The IRS wants to see, what was the money from the retirement account? What did it buy? What's it worth? What have you bought and sold? They just want a track record of this. Real estate's easy, right? We're gonna have settlement statements, purchase agreements, contracts. Us as an IRA custodian, we track that in our accounts. But when you go decentralized and you're kind of on your own with wallets, it's going to be on your own as to track it. And we haven't not seen any standards from the IRS or what they actually want to see. I just know they're going to want records, because that's what the IRS subpoenas is: paperwork and records.
Yeah. Well, like Mike asks, I know he's being funny here, but we could all use it. Mike says, how can I move a large amount of money out of the United States without them seeing it? That's impossible. You're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Yeah, they will come for you. I mean, you know the story of Boris Johnson, right? I mean, Boris Johnson is actually American. He was the Prime Minister of England, but he was actually born in the United States, I believe. And he didn't even know that he owned like a piece of property in the United States. And the IRS came after him to be able to pay taxes on the profits of the sale of that house. Like, he was the prime minister of England and he still had to pay tax in the United States. They will come after you no matter what. They will find you. They will find you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Matt, can you just give us an idea of the summit and how people can find out more information on your side?
Yeah, get over to sdirasummit.com. If you want to be in Dallas, maybe you're there. We'd love to see you there in person. It's the Westin Gallery in Dallas, or you can watch it virtually as well. And if you miss it on Saturday, you're busy, but you're like, man, I'd be interested in that. We record it, and so you have access to the recording as well. So get over to sdirasummit.com. There's more details there. You can register. We'd love to see you and have you part of the education and conversation.
Wonderful. And Haley, how can people get a hold of you if they want to start to take next steps in real estate investing and learn how to leverage their retirement accounts to buy properties?
Yeah, they can definitely book a call, free consultation, simply by going to morrisinvest.com and scheduling that consultation call. Would be happy to jump on a call and see if we can add some value and help them, starting that self-directed journey.
Great. I saw a viewer just wrote in if I book a call, can you guys help me at least point me in the right direction with guidance? So NJ Pool Player with their question there. Yes, absolutely. We'd be happy to help you and point you in the right direction. And that's what our team does all the time too. It's like, we're building like a certain number of properties every year with our team at Sedera Wealth. Like we don't have an endless supply of properties, but there's very often the time that our team is just spending on the phone, educating and guiding people in the right direction. So it's all part of that process. And maybe you don't work with us now on real estate, but maybe 6 years from now you do, because hopefully you love the experience and we were able to guide you in the right way. And that's our goal, is all about education. So and that's what I love what Matt's been doing, on the education front. What you guys provide is just phenomenal to help people, because I'll just give you the final word here, Matt. Like, we don't learn this stuff in school. They do not teach it to us in school. You have to learn it on your own, right?
Yeah, you have to go seek it out yourself. But rather than, be discouraged about that, about like I didn't learn in school, think of it as I have an advantage because I'm willing to go seek this out and find this information. And that puts me at a competitive advantage of everyone else, from entrepreneurism to investing in real estate. So take control for your own situation. Know that money in your retirement account is not just locked up on Wall Street. You can invest in real estate or these alternative assets we've had some questions about today, and let us know if we can be a resource to you along the way.
Wonderful. Well, thanks to you both for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Clayton.
Thank you. And have good luck at the big summit.
All right.
Hope it's a huge success. Thank you so much, guys. I really
guys.
appreciate it. Thank you, Matt. And thanks to all of you for joining us today. We really, really appreciate it. We also do Q&A episodes here. So if you'd like to come over to our website, you don't feel like booking a call with our team, that's fine too. There's a little microphone icon on the right side of the screen at morrisinvest.com. Just click on that. You can leave us a 30-second voicemail question. We'll answer it on one of our Q&A episodes. I try to answer at least 3 questions in one of those episodes every week. So please check that out as well. But we'd love to have you. We'd love to take you through that process. By booking a call with our team, a little calendar will pop up. You can pick the time that you select, the 30-minute window that you select. Make sure you put in your proper email address and phone number, and then one of our team members will call you and have a discussion about your retirement, about real estate investing and all of that. And then if we move forward with you, then great. Then we'll be able to set up a self-directed account working with Matt's team at Directed IRA, and you're off to the races to start to build wealth with real estate investing. So pretty easy process, and we hold your hand through the entire process. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. The hundreds of you that were watching, we really appreciate it, taking a moment out to better yourself financially. This is about your financial future and your financial independence. So thank you guys so much. And we will see you back here real soon. Have a great rest of your week and into your weekend, everyone. Be safe.